Blocka blocka. Yo guys, what is up? Crypto love. Randall here, and coming to you today with an episode that may be a little bit out there, maybe a bit esoteric, but follow along because I think it's very interesting. Alright, now before we get into that, I just want to say thank you so much to all the subscribers. Like, I was watching some of my old videos from a month ago, month and a half ago. I had like 300 subscribers. Now over 4,000. Mind-blowing, so thank you guys. Also, if you guys just mash on that like button, that would be cool. Now, one more thing, a small little notice. This coming Tuesday at 10:30 p.m., November 7th, we have a late night live stream, so that will be coming at you. But anyways, what is this episode? What's going on? And what is he talking about? So last night, I was watching this documentary called Thrive. So it's basically about why there's all this corruption in the world, what's going on with that, the money, financial collapse, all these things. And it's a pretty good documentary. It's put together by one of the dudes from Procter & Gamble, like one of the sons of that. But he does a good job of kind of documenting what's going on with finance, what's going on with fraud in governments and money and central banks and all these things, all these questions we have to ask. And so it made me think, because there's a lot of stuff happening with Bitcoin, cryptos, and blockchain that could potentially topple the New World Order. Crazy, right? Now, if we take a look at things, right now, Bitcoin is exploding. And it's no surprise. I mean, this is awesome. This is something that can take away power from the New World Order. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But look at this. Bitcoin's at $7,339. A month or two ago, it was half of that. It's just crazy. It is exploding. Everybody wants to get their free Bitcoin 2x, so everybody's buying Bitcoin. But today we're seeing a little bit of a bounce back in the altcoins, so that's good. Everybody was starting to sweat a little bit. Now, when we have Bitcoin sailing to high prices like that, and then we have people like Jamie Dimon saying Bitcoin's a fraud, and we have Warren Buffett saying Bitcoin's a bubble. Oh, but why are they saying that? Well, let's take a look. In the Thrive documentary, they have this graph here, and I think this is really cool because this helps explain a lot of what's going on in the United States, also in the world, and a lot of crazy stuff. So down here, way on the bottom, we have the people, the planet, and all living things. I'm just a person. I'm not an expert, not a financial advisor, not a professional trader. Just a person. And on top of that, we have governments. So they have power. Did you know in the U.S., 25% of tax dollars go to the military? So that means out of every dollar that I make, like, what is it? A quarter of 25%, like 6%, something like that goes to the military. 6 cents out of every dollar I make, something like that goes to the military. That's crazy. We have a huge military, and it's to keep the people in line. Now, on top of the government, we have the corporatocracy. This is the corporations like Monsanto, like GE, like Exxon, like Pfizer, okay? They're the ones who run the government. They're the ones who pull the strings. I mean, the money with the lobbyists in the government, that's how bills get passed, not because of what people think. If you think you have any representation in this democracy that we have, you are mistaken. On top of them, the big banks. These are the guys who got bailed out when they messed up in 2008, right? So we have Goldman Sachs, Chase, Citibank, Bank of America, HSBC, all of them. And then on top of that, we have the central banks. So we have the national central banks, the international central banks, the central banks of central banks, and on top of that, the financial elite. Now, they're the people who really pull the strings. Now, you may ask, who owns the central banks? It's pretty much the Rothschilds. All right, along with them, there's also the Rockefellers and the Morgans, but pretty much they own the central banks. The central banks, the Federal Reserve, what are these? These are non-governmental organizations that print money. So all of our money is not from the government. It's just printed by these private entities that decide what happens in the world. Now, I know you're saying you're going down a rabbit hole, and I certainly am, but I just want to bring up some things that are important. So right now, there are only 4 countries left without a Rothschild central bank. All right. In 2000, there were a few more. Look at this list. Afghanistan, Iraq, Sudan, Libya, Cuba, North Korea, Iran, Syria. All enemies of the United States. Look at that. We're doing war with them because, well, I mean, maybe there's injustice. Or maybe they just don't have a Rothschild central bank. And you're saying, Randall, you are a conspiracy theorist. It's true. I still think we didn't make it to the moon. Whatever. But look at this. Right now. Okay? In 2017, there are only 4 countries left without central banks. Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and Syria. And look at this. Every day, it's like, North Korea, bombs, 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 bombs. All this stuff. Because we want to put our rule on top of them and then make them have a Rothschild central bank. I mean, really, North Korea, are they going to blow us up with a nuclear bomb? Because as soon as they did that, the whole world would be over. Why would anyone do that? It's just a stalemate. This is just so the Rothschilds can have a central bank there, so they can have global domination. It's true. Or maybe it's not. But this is where it gets exciting, okay? So in this movie, Thrive, they talk about how we can reverse what's going on. And so the first thing we need to do is somewhat do away with centralized government. No, that's the second thing. The first thing we have to do is we need to get the money back. Take it out of the hands of the central bank. 2, we have to do away with centralized government. 3, we need to remove censorship. Okay? And look at, I'm just taking a look here at a few cryptos, a few things that are making this movement possible, something that we could see in our lifetime. And this is why I believe that Bitcoin is going to be so valuable, because it's something that's truly going to change the world. Blockchain technology truly going to change the world in our lifetime. And it's mind-boggling. Somewhat scary, but mind-boggling. So let's take a look. First one, Bitcoin. Okay? Bitcoin is the originator. If you guys don't know what Bitcoin is, I don't know what you're doing watching this channel. But anyways, Bitcoin is the first thing that truly has power to take money away from the central banks. I mean, if it's the Rothschild family not controlling everything, if it's the people who use the currency controlling everything, what a novel concept. Maybe that's why Bitcoin keeps going up in price. Do I believe it's a bubble? Heck yeah, it's a bubble, because people are making money just out of proportion with what they know or anything. But do I think the bubble's going to pop soon? No, probably not. Still here for a while. But it is going to be a bubble. Some people are going to get hurt. But Bitcoin is basically the starter of all this. In 2008, when the banks were doing their scandals, Bitcoin came out and he said, hey, money to the people. And look at that. It's gone from cents to $7,300. The next one. Okay, so Bitcoin kind of helps to do away taking money out of the central banks. Next one, Ethereum, also Dash. Okay, these ones work with smart contracts, well, Ethereum smart contracts, and then decentralized autonomous organizations. So taking the power away from the government, right? That's scary. Or scary, cool. So again, I'm not an expert in anything, but specifically on decentralized autonomous organizations. So just throw those troll comments down there. But basically, it is being able to have contracts that don't need people, and then also have organizations that don't need people. So stuff that we can set up that works for the greater good of everyone. On to the next one. So that's 2 of things. So Bitcoin took the money away from central banks. Ethereum, decentralized autonomous organizations, take the power away from the government. The next one, taking back the freedom of speech. Okay? Zencash. Now this is something Privacy Coin built off of fork of Zcash, but what they have is privacy in terms of publishing. So that means there's going to be no retribution for publishing stuff, because in that movie Thrive, there's a lot of people who basically they published stuff that said that there was scandal in the government, and then they were killed, their labs were burnt down, they were discredited, humiliated publicly, all these things just because the powerful people just knocking on their door. So that one is very cool. The next one is crazy, all right? ClearPoll, also Horizon State. These are some things for voting on the blockchain. No more voting fraud. So guess what? The financial rich just can't decide who becomes president. They just can't put a puppet in office. It's actually the people who decide. Crazy. Because really, the people outnumber the financial rich by like 1,000,000 to 1. So we want a world of the people, right? For the people. Maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows? Who knows what we want? Maybe we need the financial rich. But I'll leave that up to you. The next one. Steam it. Okay, Steam is awesome. Imagine this, the blockchain. You can get rewarded for the content you create. And look at this. 2 cents, 8 cents, 3 cents. Maybe nothing now. But, you know, if Steam goes to the moon, could be something spectacular. If you guys are on Steam it, I'll put my post, you know. But, yeah, people getting rewarded for the content they create. How about that? Instead of having to go to work, doing a job you hate, blah, 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 you can just put out real content that people like, and you know what? People will find you. Like, I didn't think that people would actually watch this channel, but look at this. 4,000 people subscribe. Holy cow. People like you for you, and they're going to respond to that. And you can make money doing that with the blockchain. Crazy. And then lastly, we have privacy. So things like Monero, other privacy coins, because Big Brother is watching. But maybe once we do away with Big Brother, he won't be able to watch anymore. But Monero right now, blockchain solution, helps with privacy. So I mean, if we take a look at that, the blockchain is really working to reduce fraud, to get rid of all this scandal, dishonesty, all this stuff that's happening in the world right now, to really have a better place to live for everyone. And it's something that's happening right now, and it's something that's happening, probably going to happen within our lifetime. I mean, it's going to be an absolutely crazy ride, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys, but I am. Also, I mean, if you guys hodl Bitcoin, you'll probably see a lot of gains from it, and I'm looking forward to that too. So, the last thing, just to think about, is, you know, all this is great. All this is awesome. But then I start thinking, well, you know, Bitcoin is really, it's all based on Bitcoin, right? And so, like, Bitcoin, it seems like we know a lot about it because it's been out there for a while, except for one thing. One thing that we don't know. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Now, apparently the NSA has identified someone who they think it is. Apparently. But, do we know? And I was thinking, what if Satoshi Nakamoto is the Rothschilds? Would that not be the craziest scam in all of existence? The craziest, just like, woo! You know? Because, you know, Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin. Right now, that's worth $7 billion. He's got $7.3 billion in Bitcoin. And you know what? If this goes up to a million is a trillion or something like that, imagine how much money he'll have. Imagine how much power he'll have. So, that's it for today. I just wanted to blow your minds a little bit, maybe. Maybe you didn't like it at all. Whatever. I thought it was interesting. It makes me think. I just love that, you know, aside from being cool currencies and a really exciting community to be in with cryptocurrencies, this stuff is going to do, potentially has the power to do away with fraud, to do away with oppression, to do away with censorship and everything like that. And that's really cool. That's what gets me going. And that's why I believe Bitcoin's going to be worth a lot of money. Now, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Am I just a nutball? Am I going off my rocker? Like, what's happening? Or do you think there's some, you know, some sense going on in here? Also, if you guys like this episode, click that subscribe button. Make sure on Tuesday, November 7th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, you are here for the late night live stream. And then I will catch you guys later. All right. Peace.